Hey guys, Buffing Game back today, bringing a video for our Modern Warfare 3 weapon conversion series, and today we're taking the DG-58 LSW light machine gun and turning it into the QBZ-95B assault rifle from the Chinese military for the PLA. So we'll go ahead and jump in. I'll show you the conversion. We'll show how it handles in the firing range and then in game, and get into some information about the weapon. Let's go ahead and back out. And here's the final design for our QBZ-95. Not an expert on Chinese weaponry, but very confusing names there. But again, QBZ-95B for the compact version. Let's go ahead and back out, and I'll show you guys this weapon. So first off, what you want to do is utilizing the DG-58 LSW. This is the light machine gun. Now, for week 2 here, they put in the weekly challenges. If you go to challenges, week 2, you have the Jack Nightshade rifle kit. So this is an aftermarket part conversion kit for the DG-58 LSW, and that's going to give you this particular conversion, turning the light machine gun into a assault rifle, and the B version being the carbine variant. So we'll go ahead and jump into this. What you're going to do is take the DG-58 LSW. Now, the main thing here, after you complete that weekly challenge and level this up completely, you'll be able to unlock the carbine kit attachment. You can see here, the Nightshade, this is going to give you it's still a 5.8 by 42 millimeter assault rifle or cartridge, but it's converting it from a light machine gun into the assault rifle variant with a little bit of a higher rate of fire. You can see mobility and handling goes up, tac standard goes up, and rate of fire goes up. Your cons are bullet velocity and range, damage, and magazine ammo capacity dropping down from the 75, I believe it is, at base. But you can see you're increasing your rate of fire by 21.4% up to 857.1 rounds per minute. So go ahead and select that. Now, at first, it's a little bit buggy here. If we go ahead and back out, it's for whatever reason, it keeps showing it with the same barrel length, which is not correct. So I think to fix this, I'm not sure if it's just an issue in privates or if it's still an issue in the primary game itself. So we'll go ahead and just jump back into this. It's definitely, so there you go. Now it's fixed. So I'm not sure what the issue is. I think it was a hot fix they did recently, because I think originally it still had the longer barrel variants there. So first up, this looks very strange with the white 3D printed material. So you're going to want to throw a camo on. Again, personal preference, but typically I've only seen these weapons in pretty much a solid black. So we'll go ahead and put the charcoal camo on there. Next, to build this up, the base muzzle is what you're going to want for this one. We don't need to put any attachments on it unless you want to. Again, for best in-slot attachments or for the best weapon version of this, you're going to want a muzzle because the recoil is pretty drastic. We're going to skip on the laser and the optic and the stock and the comb. For the rear grip here, we're going to put on the various steady grip. Going to give us the firing aim stability, recoil control, and the gun kick control. So we'll go ahead and select that. Ammos you have, or the magazine capacity, excuse me, you have the base 30, you have a 20 and a 40. We're going to just stay with the base 30. However, this is a high rate of fire, so you're most likely going to want a 40 round magazine. And then ammunition here, we'll go ahead and throw on, again, personal preference, just to put on some other attachment here. I threw on high velocity to the 5.8 by 42. And that's pretty much it. So again, you can put on any other attachments you want with this, but this effectively takes the QJB-95 LSW light support weapon, which is the light machine gun variant of the QBZ-95, and turns it not into the QBZ-95, but the QBZ-95B, which is a carbine variant, the shorter barrel variant of this weapon, with, I believe, what's going to be a 14.5-inch barrel here for this weapon, because it is a bullpup design. Now, it's kind of an amalgamation of the QBZ-95B or QBZ-95B1 and the QBZ-95B. The B1 or the QBZ-95-1 was just kind of an enhanced variant of the QBZ. So you see the fire selective switches there, which are ambi, left and right. In real life, they'd be right above the pistol grip or on the pistol grip, the top of it. You also have a magazine release and a bolt release on that version of the weapon. Here, it's hard to tell where it is, especially with the inspect. It's still a little bit buggy here, but to really see it. But it appears there's going to be a mag release there on the left-hand side. I don't see where the bolt release would necessarily be on this. You have the charging handle there on the top, right in the middle, so it's not getting in the way. And the injection port here on the right-hand side. Now, the QBZ QBZ-95-1 or the B1 versions. I believe this ejection port is pretty much either angled or moved up, so everything's ejecting towards the 1 o'clock of the weapon, so it can be accommodated for both left and right hand shooters. And then you have that muzzle device on there for the weapon. You have the fixed carrying handle with the iron sights. So that's our QBZ-95B carbine variant. We'll go ahead now and jump into the firing range with this weapon and just see how it handles. Now, this is a pretty cool conversion. First off, I think with the weekly challenges, they're going to be adding different conversions of weapons, which is awesome. If they can keep this up, this would be huge. So there's our inspect. High rate of fire here. Let's go ahead and see. Now, anything I would say with this build right here that I'm using, that long range target would be not really feasible to be engaging. Anything, even this one here is a little bit, that's like your max, I would say. With this particular build, you're almost more accurate, I feel like, using tack stance to engage targets, honestly. Obviously not that one, but the closer ones, just because the kick with this one is a little bit much. So you're definitely going to want a muzzle device on this thing when you're using it in-game for practical purposes. Go ahead and check out the recoil, just let it rip. So not controlling there, you have a pretty heavy vertical climb. Again, it's going kind of straight up, right, and then left, and squiggling around a little bit. So let's try to control it. So there you go. It's still kind of going all over the place there. The horizontal recoil is definitely a lot, as well as the vertical. So that's me just pulling straight down slightly, controlling a little bit. So you're definitely going to want a horizontal brake on this thing, most likely. Other than that, no front grips are available because of the short barrel variant. And here's the gameplay. Again, just playing on Invasion. We're playing as Zima, the Chinese operator for Spec Group. Because it is a Chinese weapon, I felt that was fitting. Now, again, to stay, I guess, in line with the QBZ-95s, typically do. Sometimes you see them with some 3x type optics. There's also some thermals available. But typically, the QBZ-95s, the Chinese military doesn't really run any optics. So the QBZ-95, you're not going to see any optics very rarely on this weapon. The QBZ-95 is now being replaced by the QBZ-191, which is a more modern non-bullpup design, a more modular system with Picatinny rails, things like that, that are available for optics attachments. So that's part of their Chinese version of the Ratnik program, etc., things that Russia did. And we did, obviously, to modernize their military. So that's what you're seeing, a more modernized rifle with the 191. But here with the QBZ-95, this is a bullpup assault rifle. Again, put into service 1997 through present. Now, you also have another version of this as an assault rifle category already, which is the QBZ-97. That's a 3-burst weapon. That's firing 5.56x45 NATO. So that's the difference between the two, is that the QBZ-97 fires the 5.56 NATO, QBZ-95 versions, and the QJB, which is a light machine gun variant that we have here in game that we converted this from, fires the 5.8x42 cartridge. So with this weapon, again, in service from 1997 through present, it's been in many conflicts for the Chinese military. Sri Lanka Civil War, Southern Sudanese Civil War, war in Afghanistan at scene action, things like that with exports. Design period was 1989 through 1991. Manufacturer is Norinco. It should be a name that you guys recognize. Unit cost is going to be around 4,300 yen. And the production was 95 through present, with over 3 million units being produced, which is fitting given the size of the Chinese population and the military, so that makes sense. But it is a staggering amount of units that have been produced. The mass overall, the QBZ-95B is going to be 6.4 pounds or 2.9 kilograms. The length of the weapon is going to be 24 inches or 609 millimeters, with the barrel length of the QBZ-95B, the carbine version that we have here, being 14.5 inches or 369 millimeters. The cartridge, again, is going to fire that 5.8x42 round, and the action is a short stroke piston rotating bolt with a rate of fire being 800 rounds per minute in real life, which is going to be compared to the regular QBZ-95 with the typical barrel length of 650. So the increased fire rate here does make sense that you see in game, and you actually have a higher rate of fire than you do in real life with this weapon, which usually so far with these conversions of the aftermarket parts, we see more of a lower rate of fire with the exception of the PKP Petronik bullpup conversion. The effective firing range for this weapon is going to be around 400 meters, with the feed system being a 30-round detachable box magazine. There's also a 70-round drum available, which you see on the light machine gun version of this. However, it's not equipable with this aftermarket part. You only have the 20, the base 30, and the 40-round magazine like I showed. Sights for this weapon are the hooded post front sight and aperture rear sights, which we see on this weapon being used. There's also variety of 3x optics, again, from China, and you have a 1x thermal, which is also available on this weapon. So, again, this weapon is for the PLA. Very interesting weapon. I've never been a fan of this. I don't really like it here in game. Just by playing with it here, the recoil is a lot. You're basically going to want to use this as a sniper support weapon. I think it's going to be very, very, very good at close quarters. Again, within 15 to 20 meters is where this thing's going to be useful. Anything outside of that, you're not going to be able to get range in this thing. And even in those 20 meters, you're going to want some sort of recoil mitigation attachments on there for sure. So it is a nice weapon, but again, here in game, I think it's really going to be used as a sniper support weapon, specifically in something like Warzone. It'll be, again, this is mainly close quarters. You're really not going to be able to stretch this out very far no matter what you do with this. So let me know your thoughts down below of this weapon. Again, never really been a huge fan of these weapons in real life, but it is being replaced now with the QBZ-191, which is the more modern take on a rifle. They're kind of westernizing their new rifle there with the QBZ-191. So that's going to be in service. Maybe that's something we'll see down the road here in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 potentially. But QBZ-95 has a long legacy in Call of Duty and other FPS shooters, as we've seen it pop up a bunch. So it is a really cool aftermarket part, and I think, again, them adding this as a weekly challenge as an aftermarket part for week 2. Again, if they can keep this up, this is going to be huge. I think that's where we're going to see the Scar Hammer come in as a weekly challenge here within the next week or two. So this is pretty big. I like what they're doing with this so far, and Sledgehammer is doing a lot of really cool conversions, this being one of them. So let me know your thoughts down below. If you guys are enjoying the content, be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and best way to support the channel is watch the ads, share the video, comment. Again, join button is live down below as well as in the link in the description. If you do want to support the channel, we have 3 different tiers, and there will be merchandise. Again, I'm finalizing some of that stuff. I do apologize. It's taking a little while to get that squared away, but it should be launching here shortly for you guys to order, and I'm going to be I have some new designs also that I'll be putting up either at launch or shortly after launch leading into the holidays. So let me know your thoughts down below this weapon, QBZ-95B. Again, a really cool conversion. I'm really happy that they're adding things like this to the game. This is something I think we've been looking for since Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019. It seemed like a logical next step in the gunsmith, and it's something they didn't really do in Modern Warfare 2 at all. The receiver system was kind of weird, and they were adding new weapons for just different ammo types, or calibers, which was just pretty strange. So I think this aftermarket part thing makes a lot of sense, and the fact that we're seeing them as weekly challenges is really cool. So let me know your thoughts down below. Until next time, this is Buffering Gaming with the QBZ-95B weapon conversions. Next time, Buffering Gaming out.